and welcome to The Hidden Agenda. I'm Tony.
I'm Thanasi.
And today we have 5 items on the agenda, so let's get cracking with item number 1.
Well, 5 items as long as we get to them and or one of them isn't cracked and is cut. Yeah,
one of them might be cut.
Yeah, one or two. Or maybe all 5. Who knows? This podcast could just have nothing in it. Intro, sting, outro. Done.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway, item number 1.
All right, let's hear it.
People... I don't understand people who say summer is their favourite month. Sorry, season. They're wrong.
Okay, so I guess the problem with that is that I completely agree.
Yeah, but that's fine. We could still discuss that.
Yeah, no, I really don't understand it either. I mean, especially coming from Brisbane, where summer was like 8 months of misery. It wasn't like, because in Brisbane the seasons are like summer 2, and like
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, pretty much. It was like spring was summer, and then summer was summer 2.0, and then autumn was like, you know, the prequel to summer, I guess. It was slightly less summer, but it was still pretty summer.
So what, let me ask you, is your favourite season?
Oh, winter by far.
Winter?
Yeah, absolutely.
I used to be a winter guy.
Yeah.
Now it's a bit cold for me. I prefer autumn.
You're getting a bit old, Tony.
Yeah, I like autumn because in spring, it's when nature comes back to life. And pollen and bees and snakes.
And hay fever.
Hay fever, can't be doing that. Yep. Autumn is the sweet spot. It's not too hot, not too cold, and nature is just dying. And that's what I really love about autumn.
I'm just into the death of nature.
I'm into the death of nature.
Yeah,
it's really good. But the other thing that annoys me is you ask people and they go, what do you like about summer? And the answer's always, I like going to the beach, I like having a nice picnic. What they're really saying is, I don't like doing anything. I like just sitting around.
I like going to places where I can cool off because it's too hot.
But they're basically saying, I just like sitting around. Well, and I would prefer
because it's too hot to do anything else.
I have a theory though.
Yep.
And this theory is, and I haven't really researched the theory a lot.
The best kind of theory.
I feel anecdotally, most of the conquerors in the world have been colder climates invading warmer climates.
Yeah, but I think this is probably just because they get sick of the cold, to be honest.
But that's the thing. Cold is a motivating factor. Like, cold pushes you to do things.
Yep.
Whereas, you know, if you're warm, sitting in a nice sort of tropical environment, well, what's your motivation to do anything? You're on the beach. People work their whole lives to move to the beach and then do nothing. So if you're already there, like what are you? There's no motivation to do. And then these people from colder climates with boats come along and go, all right, we're going to run things around here now. But I don't know. I just feel like it's the Vikings, big conquerors. England went and invaded a bunch of warmer countries.
Well, here's the thing, right? To me, that's backwards. Because, like, for me, heat breeds misery. I'm a little biased because I absolutely hate the beach. I hate everything about it. I don't like sand. Sand is the most irritating thing on Earth. Beaches are illegal.
What? Going to the beach or the actual beach is...
Ban beaches. Just concrete over the whole lot.
Well, it's an interesting idea.
I don't like... Because it's just going to the beach is like, it's hot. Let's go the only place where it's hotter. Right? But, like, it's just, illegal. Or, like, you have a punch card. You know? You've been to the beach 5 times this year already, Johnny. You gotta wait till next year.
Have a startup idea, and then you can come back.
Yeah, exactly. Go do something productive, and we'll give you another 5 days.
Be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, do something. It doesn't have to be necessarily entrepreneurial. Just do something, anything. Start a band. You know, write some software. Start a company.
Do a podcast.
Whatever. Just like exploit the working class. Whatever it is you want to do.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, just do something. Anything. Don't just sit around going to the beach and, I don't know, drinking those summer beers. Let's not even get into the topic of summer beers. Bread juice. Shit. Forex summer Coronas. Corona is the most overrated beer on Earth. It tastes like chilled bread soup.
Yeah, but are you putting the lemon in it?
That just makes it like lemony chilled bread soup.
Yeah, I find that it's a bit of a cop out to say you have to put the lemon
So what you're saying is it tastes bad until you modify it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sell me the modified
the
version
substance
already.
in the bottle is bad. You need to fix it before you drink it.
I assert that if you like summer, you don't really like summer. You just don't like doing anything. And summer's the best month to do that.
You could extend that to be like, if you like summer, you just admit it to yourself. You're lazy. You want to be lazy, and summer is a convenient excuse to be lazy. Well, which is why offices are climate controlled, right? Constant 24 degrees in every respectable office.
It's interesting because, with the chickens, and they turn the lights off so that the chicken thinks that it's daytime again. They got the chickens thinking like day is only 12 hours long and I've got to lay twice as many eggs.
Well, yeah, they do. They screw them up.
And we go, oh yeah, silly chickens. People work in offices. Isn't that kind of the same with us? They come in, it's autumn in here, and you go, oh yeah, I guess I'll do some work.
Yeah.
It's boiling outside. and we're just like the chickens going, oh yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. There's nothing wrong with this at all.
Yeah, it's just a pleasant work environment. I'm just going to tap away. We're no smarter than the chickens.
No.
The person with the thermostat is having us all for a laugh.
We're slightly smarter than the chickens in that we worked out how to manipulate the chickens.
Yes, right, but the guy with the upper management has worked out how to manipulate us through convenient, cool air.
Well, yeah, exactly. So basically, the broad majority of us are slightly smarter than the chickens. And then a select few, managers, are slightly smarter than us.
Yes.
So I think moving on, and I suspect that this topic may be a little heavy.
Heavy?
Heavy. But my big problem is the systematic deconstruction and destruction of the English language.
Right.
Yeah. And this is a pretty common one, right? A lot of people have a problem with the kind of the way the language is heading. And there's arguments for, like, for example, the French government has a department of the government which is responsible for literally making the rules about the language. Now, that's not necessarily a good thing because it means that the language doesn't evolve naturally, right? That all the words that people come up with and stuff like that don't ever become a part of the language. So they might not be taught or something like that. But I noticed something the other day, and that's like, how the common gripe is the difference between you're, like the possessive, and, you are.
Yes.
The contraction.
Yes.
Have you noticed that is now so commonly done incorrectly that the vast majority of people don't even notice anymore?
Yes.
To the point where it ends up in, like, advertising material for certain companies?
Yes.
And things like that. Like incorrect grammar is plastered on billboards. Incorrect grammar is printed in novels, right?
Yes.
Just like, what are you doing? Like, are we at a point now where editors don't know English?
I think there's a couple of things I wish to address here. One, I think probably I don't know. I read a book recently, and the quality of editing was shocking in this book. And at one point,
was it 50 Shades?
No, it was a long-running series. I don't know if the Ober Newton series.
I've heard of it. I haven't read it.
The first one came out in like 1987, and it only wrapped up in 2015.
Right.
But there was one part where a character posed a question to the group, and that question was answered by the character who had posed the question.
What?
Clearly, the line was originally meant to go to someone else, and
but it was misedited.
Yeah, or it was given to someone else, and I'm like, so Damien said, "How could anyone do this?" So then the answer from Damien was, "Well, maybe they didn't realize what they were doing." I'm like, okay, why did Damien feel the need to voice that twice?
I mean, why couldn't he have just stated it as an opinion rather than pose a question to himself and then immediately answer it?
Maybe Damien was taking on a school teacher, like, now why would they have done this, anyone? Because they didn't know what they were doing. But the other thing, the yaw and yaw, I actually got into, this is true, once at Christmas, a massive family argument.
Oh no.
Over the use of yaw and yaw.
Yeah.
And my stance is, I'm afraid to say, slightly different from yours. Because the thing is, language, we deem the language we use that is correct today is based on the fuck-ups of the idiots from the past.
It is.
And I don't see how you can sort of say, nah, this is now correct. I mean, it's the idiots that control the language.
Well, it's because most people are idiots.
Well, yeah, but they're the ones who
Slightly
are gonna...
elitist thing for me to say, but...
So, what we're learning from its misuse is we don't need two of them. And this is the challenge I put to my family. Give me a sentence where the usage of and your... The fact that we can say that is the wrong contextually means we don't need both of them. Unless there was a truly ambiguous use, you don't need both of them.
Well, no, you're not wrong in that sense, right? It's like, because it's just a noise. All words are just noises. And if the noise is correct and you can work it out from the context 100% of the time, who cares how you write it? My point isn't that it should exist or not. My point is that it does exist, and just use it correctly, right?
Yeah, but this is how the language evolves.
Yes, but that's a start, right? That in that particular instance, fine, right? You can make the argument that it's not necessary because it's possible to discern what you mean without ambiguity pretty much every time, if not every time. I mean, it's very easy to understand what the function of that noise in a given sentence is, right?
Yes.
But the thing is just like, that's where it starts, right? This is the oft incorrect slippery slope fallacy, right? It could just get so much worse.
But then at what point do we go, if we wanted to fix language, are we going back to the 1700s? Are we going back to where awful meant something that inspired awe in people rather than
rubbish,
and terrific was something that inspired terror?
Yeah.
I mean, these are the correct usages.
Unfortunately, you've kind of got me there, right? I think there's nothing wrong with modernizing or updating or even changing the definition of words as they stand. I think it's a little dangerous to start like, things like the your, that's kind of whatever, like I agree, but what I'm saying is that, like, there's, at the very least, it's expected that people know how that works because that's currently part of our language, right? And the fact that the care factor that people have for the language is so low that mistakes like that slip into literally marketing material for multi-million and multi-billion-dollar companies.
That's bad.
It's pathetic.
I mean, but that is...
If it was an accepted thing that we don't give a shit anymore, then fine. But we don't not give a shit anymore, right?
I guess it's just... Language evolves from a losing battle, I suppose.
I suppose it does.
Enough people go, I don't really understand this, so now it's different.
So what about words that just don't actually make any sense? Like, for example, you'll hear this a lot, and this one really, really grinds my gears. But people that will say irregardless.
Irregardless.
Instead of regardless.
Right.
Right? Now, that's nonsense. That's a nonsense phrase. That's a nonsense word.
But it not in 50 years it won't be.
No, but what I'm saying is that as the language currently stands, that word doesn't make any sense, all right? And if it does become adopted, it'll literally just become adopted in the place of the word regardless, right? It's why are we just adding a syllable to a word without changing its meaning? If somebody could come up with a definition for irregardless that made any sense, like, regardless is without regard. Irregardless, I guess, is without regard, right? It's a double negative.
Yes.
I mean, I think so anyway. I mean, I have no fucking idea what people mean when they say that, because it really, like, that one, that one will cause me to start twitching when I hear irregardless. It's nonsense.
Yeah.
It's absolutely nonsense.
I agree, but so is went being the past tense of go. What the fuck is that?
And
that's correct.
It is correct.
Where did that come from?
Yeah, I don't know.
Idiots from the 1500s.
Yeah, this word's a bit shit.
Goad. I don't like that. Let's just use this went word that's meant to be for something else and smash. Now we have some weird ass past tense.
Especially since goad is also a word. G-O-A-D, yeah.
But I was thinking G-O-E-D.
Yeah, which is just... I mean, yeah, if someone said that to me now, I'd be like, I see where you're coming from, but no.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know. I agree. It should be up to the editors to, and it should be up to
do their fucking jobs.
It should be up to anyone proofreading something, and it should be up to the people writing things to try and be correct.
Look, I tell you what. If the day comes where the Oxford English Dictionary strikes out...
No, but Oxford will
never remove words, right?
No, okay. Macquarie, I think, will.
Okay, so if the day comes where the Oxford Dictionary puts alongside you're the possessive as well as you are, if they just list them both, all right, that's the point at which, as an English-speaking population, we've given up on the idea, and I will begrudgingly accept it.
That kind of has happened. The word literally, if you look up the definition of that...
Yeah, now, I know. Means figuratively.
Figuratively.
Yeah, I know. It's disgusting.
And I also got into an argument about whether you can use the word literally in a figurative sense. And
so rather than in place of figuratively, you use literally in a figurative sense?
Well, because I was getting into an argument with my father, and my father said, what do you say when you actually want to convey that this is what actually happened?
You say literally.
Well, I said that I don't think is the point of language. If I'm telling you this is what happened, you believe me or don't. There's no key code word where you go, oh yeah, now this is what...
Yeah, that's what he was actually talking about.
Yeah, that's sort of almost just like a cheat code for language. You go, I trust this guy.
He knows what he's talking about.
He doesn't exaggerate, so this is probably what happened. Or you go, this guy's full of shit. You don't use a word like literally to go, oh, yeah. So, Your Honour, he said literally, so we don't have to cross-examine this witness anymore.
You don't say something like, I literally went to the shops.
Yes.
It's just like, if you say, I went to the shops, it's very rare that someone's going to be like, but did you?
Hang on, is this a metaphor for...
Did you actually go to the shops? I could do this forever. Like, could of, should of, instead of could have, should have. The complete loss of adverbs in the English language. Just, they don't exist anymore. How did it sound? It sounds good. Well, good isn't an adverb. It's awkward to say it sounds well, but it's technically more correct. Right? But, how fast, how does the car go? Oh, it goes very fast. Well, that's not correct. Strictly speaking, it would be it goes very quickly. That would be more correct English. But, the point is with that one in particular is I remember noticing it early on, and now I've fallen into the trap myself. It's just become common parlance. Like it's just a thing that we do. We can use things as adverbs willy-nilly, basically how they sound good.
Yeah. I never actually thought of that one, but yeah.
I remember we had a business teacher in grade 9, and she was a lovely lady, but she wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed, that's for certain. And I remember one day she was, never mind the amount of time she mixed up your and your on the board, right? On the marker board. Can of worms there. But I remember once she corrected somebody's, like we were doing like a presentation on, like a little written bit on like some marketing material for a television or something. And some student had included the word remote, like remote control in this thing, and she's crossed it out. It was spelled correctly, R-E-M-O-T-E. She crossed it out and wrote R-O-M-O-T-E. Remote. And I remember seeing that. I remember the kid, because that was the person. That was the person sitting next to me, and I remember that kid getting this assignment back, and they'd lost a mark for spelling remote correctly. All right, and not only had they lost the mark for that, the teacher had then proceeded to spell it incorrectly underneath in red marker. You got this wrong. And he's looking at me going like, do I tell her? Like, what do I do? Like, it's the most embarrassing thing to go up to a teacher and be like, listen, you're stupid. This is wrong.
That's bad. Anyway, so item 3 on the agenda. I feel like, so they say the definition of madness is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
Sure.
My thing is, and I think I must be mad, because
Well, I think we're all a bit mad.
My relationship with the phrase non-stick just doesn't seem to be healthy.
Non-stick.
Non-stick. Every time I get something that's non-stick,
It sticks.
I
Things
go,
stick to it.
I don't need to grease this. It says non-stick. It's brand new. This will be fine. And every time I go, this fucking shit has stuck to my non-stick appliance. And I'm just wondering, like, how long are we going to keep putting up with, like, who is no, there's no accountability for non-stick.
No.
No one seems to be taking ownership of this.
No.
What's going on?
Yeah.
I don't know who to turn to.
Who do you complain to?
I mean, it needs a big asterisk next to it. Like,
Non-stick. Possibly.
possibly.
Maybe. Under certain circumstances.
Water will glide right off, but you put any food substance in this,
You're fucked.
you're fucked.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's just...
Yep.
But I don't know, like... What... I feel like we need to take this further. Like, we just put up with it. I don't know. What's your... Do you trust it?
No.
You don't trust
No,
it?
straight up.
Straight up.
No,
You
I've
just-
never believed it. I fell for it once.
You fell for it once.
I fell for it one time, and since then I've never fallen for it again. The result being that I buy appliances or pots and pans or whatever that are 30% cheaper and function exactly as the non-stick one would because I have to grease them both anyway.
Right. See, this is... Yeah, I don't know. I believe it. And
Don't.
I feel like I'm almost...
Don't believe anything marketing people have to say to you. That's my rule for life, is that, like, exhaustively research anything that you intend to purchase, right?
So I was looking for some cake tins.
And I bet you looked for 5 minutes.
No, I looked for quite... Because my mother had a single unit cake tin.
Right.
She taught me how to make the cake she used to make. And,
Yeah.
You know, I want to be able to make...
You wanted to bake the cake, sure.
And looked for this single unit cake tin. Couldn't find it anywhere. All the cake tins these days have like a girdle thing where you unstrap it and the sides come
Pop off
Yeah.
and, yeah.
But this is just...
But I mean,
options.
regardless, you have to grease it. You absolutely must.
It said non-stick.
It's a lie. Just like most marketing is a lie. You buy a car and they tell you it'll do 7.5 litres to 100 kilometres. Yeah, if you throw it off the edge of a cliff with the engine off.
I feel like we need to stand up and do something.
Stand up and be counted.
Yeah.
Or we should form the Non-Stick as a Lie Alliance.
Yeah. We won't take this non-stick lying down thing.
Get it?
I don't. That was just a collection of words.
Get it? It's a lie and you're lying down. Yeah. See, I'm all over it today. All over it.
Like my food on a non-stick pan.
I mean, I think this is a broader topic about the murder advertising executives are allowed to get with.
No. This is specifically about non-stick.
Yeah.
I have no problem with, you know...
So what you're saying is that you can see right through all the other lies that
Yes.
advertising people tell you, but you always fall for non-stick.
I just feel like it's useful, so we should have done it by now.
It should work by now.
Yeah. It's been around for ages. It's a claim that's, 20 years old now.
Gotta be. I think non-stick just means if you grease it correctly, nothing will stick. You get that spray oil shit.
Well, this pan told me not to use the spray oil shit.
Oh.
Because it will just end up greasy and won't stick to anything.
But that's the point. What? There's in the oil will just run into the bottom.
Yeah.
It won't coat the surface.
Yeah.
So hang on, you've got a non-stick pan that sticks that you can't grease because the grease doesn't stick.
I don't know. I'm at a loss. I'm just taking words. Just people telling me things. Non-stick. My will is broken.
Just stop buying non-stick pans. Or if you do, just use them as you would a normal pan.
I don't want to. I want non-stick.
Why?
I think it'd be like giving up on humanity if I...
That's a bit of a stretch.
It's I don't want to be untrusting. You know?
You should absolutely be untrusting.
Yeah, but it's...
Unless you have, like, a legitimate... Like, you have legitimate proof that somebody is trustworthy. You should probably not... I mean, I'm not saying you can't trust them I suppose that's kind of the problem. Non-stick is such a light claim. Like it's not a life or death situation where you would have to really think about whether you trust someone. They're like, yeah, my pan doesn't, it doesn't stick. Stuff doesn't stick to it. You're like, yeah, it's probably not a lie. Like, why would they lie about that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What if no one can achieve it? Why doesn't everyone take it off the box?
Like, it's like you go to buy a car. It's like, did you know this car can fly? Well, I mean, that's the kind of claim where you would be like, well, I don't know about that.
But with your car analogy, if every car manufacturer said this car can fly, and you go, well, it can't, actually, I took it around and there's no option to fly, and the salesman's like, yeah, but neither can any of the others. Like, that doesn't make it okay to put that in the advertising material.
Oh my god, yeah, no, you're right. I'm a reasonably good cook, but I cannot bake to save my life. There's no cake on this planet that's good enough for me to take the time to learn how to make it.
Right.
And that's a claim I stand by.
Right.
I like cake. I love cake even. But it's not worth the days upon weeks upon months of time and effort it'll take me to learn to bake.
Well, I mean, I got pretty close with this one. I'm hoping the next one I do is more or less...
But I think you get less frustrated than I do, though. To be perfectly honest.
It's possible.
I think if I was to bake something, with the amount of effort that goes into baking, if it then turned out shit... you'd never hear the end of it.
I was kind of just with this cake. I was like, oh, do I even bother going on with the cake?
It's natural to be disappointed if something doesn't work out, but I would have been just like, fuck this, table flip, fucking baking,
stuck to the side,
non-stick bullshit pans, and exactly.
Yeah.
That's an interesting thing to want to believe in, though, non-stick.
I want to believe in it. Why wouldn't you want to believe in it?
Because it's just false.
But it's no reason to not want to believe in it.
Oh, true, I guess. Yeah, like, it's just like, okay, I realise this isn't non-stick, but I really wish it was.
I really wish it was.
I really wish it was.
It would be much better if it was.
Yeah.
This is item number 4 on the agenda.
Item number 4 on the agenda. My second topic is, it's a kind of a specific thing, but you're driving along and there's always one joker that will sort through traffic. Like, they'll accelerate, they'll overtake people, they'll do all this mad filtering of the traffic only to end up 2 cars in front of you at the next traffic light.
Yes, there is.
Right? And it's not like the occasional idiot. It's at almost every traffic light. There's some bloody road warrior coming up the right-hand side at 1,000,000 miles an hour, slam on the brakes, indicate, cut someone off, all this bullshit. Mm-hmm. And then you just pull up next to him at the next traffic light.
Yes, that is true.
And it just amazes me. Like, it's one thing to be in a hurry, but it's another thing altogether to just endanger yourself and all these other people for no gain whatsoever. Mm. It has always amazed me. Because if I'm seeing it never work, certainly everybody else is also seeing it, like, literally fail to work, and I quite mean literally, 100% of the time.
Well, irregardless of that...
Oh, piss off.
I don't know. I think... I don't know. I agree pretty much entirely. And I'm going to now jump into...
the mind of...
I'm going to try and deconstruct. I think... Whereas you see, you've only moved a car space ahead. This hasn't worked. They've seen, fuck yeah, I've moved a car space ahead. This has totally worked.
This is the best, man. This is awesome.
I'm not like that loser 2 cars behind.
Yeah, what a fucking idiot. I got here a whole 45 seconds before he did, only to wait 45 seconds longer for the traffic light.
Yes, and I think that's what it is. I think it must just be they must enjoy that slight optimization.
I think these people think that peak hour traffic is a race.
No, a race.
I think that those people are trying to get to their house before everybody else.
Is that? Why do you think that?
Because they wouldn't drive like that if they weren't trying to get home first. I'm going to be the first person to get home in all of Melbourne. You're not, first of all.
Yeah.
And second of all, it's not a race. Calm down. You're going to kill yourself, which would be fine if you just kill yourself. But if you kill a bunch of other people too, that's a problem.
That is a problem.
Right? Do they really just not give a shit?
I don't think it is.
But,
I
but I
think
mean,
it's...
but don't they consider their own mortality? Even if they don't care about anyone else, don't they think like I might be killed?
No, they don't. And
Because they're just that good.
that is the thing. I think they think, and this is something a very powerful statement when at school people are starting to learn to drive, and the teachers were saying. One teacher said something quite profound. He said, "Everyone in hospital who has been involved in a road accident thought they knew what they were doing."
Yes.
So
Nobody.
just because you think you know what you're doing
Doesn't mean you know what you're doing.
doesn't mean you know what you're doing.
Well, I don't think anybody knows what they're doing. Honestly, I don't think people know anything about anything. I think we're all pretending to a degree. I think we all have a basic knowledge of the things we do.
Well, hang on, so we've zoomed out from driving to...
Well, yeah, but let's focus in on driving.
Right.
I think, look, we're all, to some degree, capable of controlling this machine.
Yes.
All right? We know how the machine functions. We know what the controls in the machine do.
Yes.
Right? I don't think anybody takes a step back and says to themselves, I'm ensconcing myself in 2 tons of steel and hurtling down a road at 100 kilometers an hour, right? At which point, if I were to crash into something and suddenly come to a stop, right? Like, you're literally a missile.
Yes.
A 2-ton car going down a motorway at 100 k's an hour, that is a missile, right? And I don't think people consider the fact that they are literally piloting a missile.
I think maybe they do, but it's...
I don't think they do. I don't think they realise it because, and particularly with the amount of safety built into cars, these days people figure, if I crash, my car will just turn into a marshmallow. Because they've got 27 airbags and, all this kind of stuff now. I think the more safety we add to... I've got the solution. The more safety we add to cars, the worse people will drive.
Well,
So you know what the solution to that is?
Put a giant spike in the centre of the
Exactly what I was going to say.
There was a comedian who said that.
Is there?
Yeah.
I must have heard that somewhere then.
I can't remember.
Yeah. I must have heard that somewhere because, it's literally remove the safety features. When people become very acutely and suddenly aware of their own mortality, they'll behave.
And look, it could work.
No, it would work. If I was driving along with a spike 3 inches from my throat, I'd slow down. Maybe have the airbag but remove the bag. So there's just an explosion that goes off in your face when you have an accident. That would work too.
Why not just wire the car with explosives?
Just literally just blow the car up. Oh, you've had an accident, bang.
Yeah.
Shit everywhere.
Yeah.
Arms, legs, doors,
Don't
wheels.
have accidents.
Good. I bet people would go very slowly if that was the case.
Yes. I don't know if I can fully get on board with...
Because you know what would happen, right?
What?
Most people would choose not to drive.
I probably wouldn't drive with a giant spike at my throat.
Yeah. Well, and you and many people like you, which means there would be much less traffic. It's the solution to traffic. That's how we solve traffic. Make cars such death traps that 90% of people are too afraid. And then the only people that will be driving are those dickheads going 150 up the right-hand lane who will have an accident and explode. Congestion charge, who needs that? Just wire your cars with explosives.
It has potential. I think we need to work out the nuts and bolts of this make cars less safe approach to things.
It would work.
I'm not convinced. I mean...
I know I'd drive more safely if I knew I didn't have 12 airbags in my car. I don't claim to be an amazing driver. I don't think anybody should claim to be an amazing driver because none of us have any idea. The formal training we've had is our parents' bad habits and one guy probably named Fred or Paul who sat in a car with us for 20 minutes once and said, yeah, I reckon you can drive. That's it. Think about it. There are people out on the road there today. I'll tell you a story. There was a girl and she was incredibly proud of getting off with this ticket. Right? She got away with it. She didn't get this ticket. She was driving around. She had just gotten her P plates. It was in sort of late grade 12. She had just gotten her P plates. And she's driving along some back road up in the mountains behind Brisbane, this little mountain. And she had her headlights off. It was total darkness. There were no street lights on that road and she didn't have her headlights on.
Right.
She gets pulled over by a police officer, of course.
Yeah.
And I mean, she was a pretty girl, so she does the whole dashing. What's it called when? Anyway, she does the whole little
Flutters
innocent, the fluttering, the innocent thing, right? But she was telling us this story, and she was incredibly proud of the fact that she got away with this ticket by saying, "I didn't know I had to turn my headlights on at night." Right? And this person has a license. That person got given the little card that gives them the same right to drive on the road as I have. Right? So, or rather, excuse me, the same privilege. It's not a right to drive, it's absolutely a privilege.
Right.
My mistake, I misspoke. Right? But that person had been granted the privilege of driving, same as I had, and she either claimed to or actually didn't know that she had to have her headlights on at night.
If I was the cop, I'd probably be more lenient to the phrase, whoops, I forgot,
Then I didn't know. Yeah, exactly.
That's bad.
She got away with that.
Wow.
I hope she doesn't listen to this.
Is there a chance of that?
I mean, we went to high school together, so she might.
Well, hello if you are listening.
I don't even remember her name.
Hello, mystery lady.
Yes. Hello, person.
Turn your headlights on.
Yes, please do.
So, the fifth and final item for the agenda is basically, you see a bird.
An actual bird or a woman?
An actual bird.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not that old.
Okay. Oh, lovely bird.
Oh, look. Yeah, you see a bird.
Yep.
It looks to be in the prime of its life.
Certainly.
You never see old birds. I can't imagine what an old bird looks like.
I imagine it just looks like any other bird.
Does it? But how can you tell? I mean...
You can't. It's not like they get scruffy feathers.
But is it? Or is it just we're not seeing old birds?
I mean, maybe not.
Every time I look at a bird, it looks
It looks pristine.
Looks pristine. It's a go-getter.
That bird's going places.
I never see birds sort of walk a bit with a wonky leg. Like, oh, jeez, this is really...
Are you saying you've never seen an injured bird?
Not an injured, but like just a bird
Just
that's...
like decrepit.
Yeah, flying like...
Flying a bit wonk and...
Yeah.
You know.
I just don't know what happens to these old birds. Are they just like full of life and then dead, or...
Probably.
What's... it just seems weird to me that
That's
they don't
a very interesting thing to notice.
they don't seem to have an old age period.
No. Well, I don't know. I mean, I've owned birds in the past.
You've owned birds?
Yeah, and they don't look much older. I mean, you know, you can't look. The particular bird that I'm referencing is, and my mum's owned more birds sort of before, like when she was younger. But we had like a little ringneck parrot,
right?
And the way you could tell its age was the ring was wider.
The ring got wider.
The ring got wider, like
wider.
Wider.
Right.
So when they're sort of young, there's no ring.
No ring.
And then they start to get a ring, and then it starts to get sort of bigger.
Yeah.
But that's it. The rest of the bird, apart from being slightly bigger, looked just as healthy and whatever as it did sort of younger.
See, that's weird to me. That they don't show aging characteristics.
Well,
We got a dog, and that dog is...
Do they live that long?
I don't know.
How long do birds live? I mean, it probably changes per bird species, but...
And when did, like... I've never seen them just sort of lying on the ground. Where are they? Where do they go to die?
I imagine they just fall out of the tree they're in.
Shouldn't we see more dead birds around the place?
No? Why? What?
I never see... I mean, in my life, I don't think I've ever gone to a tree and gone, there's a bird that's clearly lived a good life and has now died and fallen out of this tree.
I mean, I've seen a dead bird at the base of a tree before.
You have?
Yeah.
Did it look old?
Not particularly.
It just baffles me that...
I mean, I guess it looked a little roughed up, but not... I mean, well, how can you tell? It's not like they get arthritis in a cane. It's, like, I mean, a dog, you can tell it's old. It gets the droopy skin, it starts to limp, whatever, or the skin gets saggy and all this. But, I mean,
Patchy feathers. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
A worn off beak. Its beak has gone down.
Well, yeah, but that could happen in adulthood as well.
Glassy eyes with cataract.
I guess so, but have you also gone and looked at a dead bird and be like, that one looks old? Like, that's got glassy eyes and patchy feathers.
No, I can't say I have.
I reckon it's more the fact that you haven't paid particular attention to the apparently few or no dead birds you've ever seen.
I just...
That didn't look like they were physically assaulted.
I would like to see an old bird. That's all. Just putting it out there. So a bird that you could look at and go...
Anyone listening, if you've got an old bird...
And that looks old.
I
don't want, like, he's 48 and he's still flying around screeching and squawk. I want... Whoa, what an old bird.
Send it to... post it on the Facebook post that you see this on.
Old bird.
Yeah. An old bird. A bird that looks old.
Where if...
A bird that calls people whippersnappers.
If you were to show that picture to someone and say, how old is this bird? People would say, that's old.
Take a video of you showing a Werther's original to your bird, and if it reacts positively, we know it's an old bird.
Stand on some grass, and if the bird starts squawking, get off it.
Get off the lawn
and
see if the bird calms down.
That bird in. Yeah.
What other old people tropes have we got? I think that's probably about it. I mean, it's really funny that you thought about it. Like, I mean, that's just funny to me. I reckon you won't find too many other people that have thought, you know what? I've never seen an old bird.
Possibly not. But
I reckon possibly none.
Possibly none?
Possibly none. You may be the first.
Well, that's quite an honour.
Yes.
Or a curse. I don't know. One of those two.
I mean, if your mind is consumed with such things, how do you get anything done? Do you walk down the street going, haven't seen any old birds? Whatever. Like, just, like, what... I mean, I use transit time to think. Mm. And are you just thinking, that bird, all the birds I've seen today, too young?
They're not too young.
Well, not old enough.
They're not...
They don't look old.
I want better representation, is what I'm saying. Yeah. Any other business or any other... That's the phrase, isn't it?
Any other business?
Any other business?
I suppose being the first episode, there's no business, right? There's nothing, I can't just say like, oh, that thing we spoke about last week? Well, I found out XYZ about it. So
it's true, that's true.
This is the very first of...
the hidden agenda.
I forgot what it was called. I can't think of anything else.
Nah, I'm good.
No worries. Well, I really like that phrase. When you come to the end of something, you say, I've been Thanasi, for example.
Yes.
So I've been Thanasi.
I will continue to be Tony.
Oh, not this again. Mm-hmm. Haven't we had this argument before?
I don't think so.
I reckon we have. And this has been... I forgot again.
The hidden agenda!
The hidden agenda.
Wow.
Jeez, I'm real good at this.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.